our day. Hello.
Hi.
We were having a few little technical difficulties and having some snacks, having some post-Thanksgiving snacks.
Post and free.
Want to know? Post, pre, during, forever, in perpetuity, pie in perpetuity, using a little showbiz lingo. This is my lovely friend, Christina Kuzmich.
I'm not like texting.
No.
Or sexting.
Or are you?
I'm not. I'm actually trying to share this to my page.
No, she's going to share it to her page and get all of her Facebook housekeeping done while I chat a little bit before we get rolling and just say that it's Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And whoop, whoop. Christina, very lovely, invited me over for her pre-Thanksgiving Thanksgiving. You're having 2 Thanksgivings, which is bananas.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like why just have one once a year? It just doesn't even make sense. When there's food involved, right?
Right.
Like it just doesn't. I think we should have like a bunch.
And also, you have so much free time as a mom to 3 kids, a working mom.
I have so much free time, you guys. Sometimes I just sit around.
You're just like, let's just cook
eating
and bake 2
thinking
Thanksgiving
about what
meals.
could I do? Yeah. Well,
because hi, Beth.
I'm being so rude, but it's taking me forever to do this. My brain's not working. Too much sugar.
She's got mom brain, but I have to laugh. So Christina very kindly invited me over to her place for Thanksgiving last night, Thanksgiving, and I decided to spend the night because I don't know if any of you have seen the traffic in LA is bananas. And so I spent the night at her place, and I went to, when I got there, she was in the kitchen, she was stirring and mixing and doing all these things.
And taste testing.
And then I went to go to the bathroom, and she was like, wait a minute, my bathroom looks like motherhood. And then
it smelled like motherhood too.
And then she ran in just to make sure the coast was clear.
But and then let's be honest, you tried the downstairs bathroom.
And the toilet was clogged.
But the 3-year-old doesn't realize that you only need about this much toilet paper. Like maybe if it's number 2, maybe this much. So he used like that much. And so she walks into one bathroom and it's just clogged with toilet paper.
Let's just say I see stuff in the toilet. It's just literally toilet paper. And I thought
there weren't any toys this time, which is impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive. And so then I tried to flush it. And then it just rose in that horrifying way of it just kept rising and rising and rising. And I was so glad that I didn't use it.
After my first kid, I would be embarrassed when people walked into my bathroom. Now it's like, whatever. And then I was like, try the upstairs bathroom. And the 12-year-old took a shower and for some reason needed like 15 towels. Because why not? And there's like soap. I was like, Amy, you know what? Take it or leave it.
My bathroom looks like motherhood.
This is my house. My life looks like motherhood.
It's like I didn't know that was an adjective to describe it, but she was right. And then I had to take the Elmo padded toilet bumper. I don't even know what it is. What is it?
You should have used it.
I know. It would have helped me.
A little boost. Helps you go potty.
Beth Springhart Thompson just wanted to say happy Turkey Day to you, Amy. Happy Turkey Day to you, Beth. And then Femi's tuning in. I'd love to know where you guys are tuning in from.
Can I ask a question of your following?
Yes, of my huge, extensive
here's the thing.
Following.
I am from Croatia. We don't have Thanksgiving in Croatia, obviously. So, proper way to eat pie. And I'm not going to tell you which slice this is today. This way or this one.
I would say either or. Ooh, we've got some Michelle and Stephanie from Calgary, Alberta, and Nevada, Nova Scotia, lots of Canada. It's not Thanksgiving time for Canada, is it? Regina says, happy Thanksgiving to you. So what you're eating now is Christina's unbelievable Nutella pecan pie. It was unbelievable.
And this is water, not vodka, if anybody was wondering.
And I'm not going to lie. I was a little suspicious.
You were of my pie?
Just a little smidge. Just because I'm a traditionalist. I'm from Ohio. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I like my Thanksgiving a certain way.
Yeah.
And you said, I was just like, oh yeah, pecan pie. That means Thanksgiving. And she's like, Nutella pecan pie. And I'm just like, in theory, okay. I'll roll with it. But it's not pecan pie. I don't know. Did the Native Americans and the Pilgrims make Nutella pecan pie, or maybe they just made pecan pie.
They missed out.
I don't know. Anyway, but needless to say, my fears were groundless. I formally apologize for even doubting.
When I said I was making it, you were like, oh, that sounds amazing. You are a liar, but we will work through it.
I'm a liar for love. And, but man, one fork full and it was like biting into a Nutella pecan angel. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean,
it was delicious.
And it's healthy.
I know.
It's got nuts in it. And
yes.
Nuts are good.
Yes. Let's say, oh, Nutella's gross. Shell says Nutella is so gross. Wait, shut it down. Pump your brakes there, Shell. Let's just bring it back to being grateful for Thanksgiving. Radonna Nelson, you know what you're eating pie correctly.
Listen,
when someone
if you
asks
need to insult somebody, insult me. Do not insult Nutella.
But I made gingerbread. I made my mom's
so good.
Gingerbread recipe. And then we had whipped cream, which was amazing, and vanilla ice cream just on all the desserts. Eat all the whipped cream and all the desserts. It was delicious.
And we're still eating.
And
then tomorrow, we both do Thanksgiving again, but not together.
Yes. Oh, see, wow. We're having a little controversy. Michelle says Nutella, anything with Nutella is amazing. Shell thinks it's gross. I mean,
Jana says Nutella rocks. I'll be your friend, Jana.
You guys
I'm not your friend, Shell. We're not friends.
But it's
okay. Guys, just so you know, I named my dog Nutella. And my other dog, I have two dogs, Nutella, and the other one's Brownie Sundae.
Come on now.
Now, somebody insults Brownie Sundae, too.
Yeah, no. I love a Brownie Sundae.
I think we should get off the Nutella topic because I feel like we're causing war.
Hi, Melissa. Yeah, we're lovers, not fighters. We were having trouble.
Ignore me, guys.
Yeah.
Just look here.
Yeah.
Look here.
Look over on this side.
Here's something I can block my face with while I eat.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh, good to go. Perfect.
This way.
There. I'll just eat like that.
She's so graceful. She's a lady.
Okay.
And then I mentioned on a couple Facebook Lives before that I'm going back to yoga. I've been very griefy for the last year and a half because I lost my dad, and I've just been laying down constantly. And I thought enough is enough. Rather than make a disappointing New Year's resolution that I will never fulfill, I am just going to start going to yoga. And I have gone to yoga
all the time,
3 times a week for 2 weeks so far. And
unbelievable.
And today, I mean, I'm almost a professional athlete. I mean, personally. I mean, I would show you the gun show, but this is.
You'd be so jealous.
Yeah, and we need to be thankful for Thanksgiving. Yeah. We don't need to be jealous of my guns. But
she was doing yoga in my backyard. She didn't even ask for permission.
I just did it.
She just rubbed it in my face. Look at me exercising. And do you know what I was doing while she was? I walked into my backyard. Amy's doing yoga. She's like holding some
some peaceful tree
sunlight,
pose.
starlight, sunset position. I don't know what they're called, like a pigeon or whatever. And I'm like, hey,
yeah,
what you doing?
I'm listening to like some kind of soothing new agey music, called like Misty Mountain Stream or something. And I'm doing yoga and I'm in tree pose. And then all of a sudden I hear the sliding door go. And then Christina's just like, hey, I'm eating pie.
With my mouth full.
And I'm like, namaste.
I was like, cheers.
But it was good. But that's discipline.
And then my 3-year-old got inspired. He saw her outside. And so he started doing yoga in the living room. He doesn't know what he's doing. It was so cute.
It was cute. Oh my gosh. Jamie's telling a story about her boys in bathrooms, but we'll move swiftly on, but we're feeling you. Laura says, hey, beautiful ladies. Hey,
hi.
We're beautiful today.
Why did we both go like this?
Hey. Like, shake it if you
I got nothing to
it.
shake.
Yeah.
But that's not what today's about.
No. So I did yoga, you guys, and I'm going to try to keep doing it because when I can't go to class, which is expensive, I do yoga at home on a home video. And I took my laptop out to Christina's porch because where I live, I don't have any outdoor space. And she's got a lovely little outside area. And it was so beautiful. Don't hate us, but it was 90 degrees in California today. So it was like a summer day. In fact, Christina said, why is it August?
It really is.
When did we turn around and it was August? But yeah, so I'm trying to make an effort. And for any of you who are grieving out there and who are feeling even more griefy from the holidays, which I know it's kind of whacked me upside the head, exercise is good. And you know, I'll be honest with you, my grief therapist, right after, because I experienced a lot of losses back to back in the last 5 years. And my grief therapist kept saying, just go out and exercise and walk around the block and all that. And I'm like, okay, you know, and I never did it. And
Wait, so do you feel like it's helping you doing yoga?
I do actually feel that it's helping me, because yoga's a lot of what I'm loving about yoga is that it's kind of you against you, and it's all about your kind of mental discipline, and you kind of can't think about being griefy or you're missing loved ones or Christmas is past, or you can't be nostalgic when you're at yoga. You're just kind of focusing on like that certain pose that you're doing, and, you know, feeling the burn and trying not to cry because that hurts so bad. And, and you're trying to breathe through it. And I mean, it's almost, in a way, it's kind of like a very, very tame version of childbirth. If you just breathe and focus on the breath.
I wouldn't choose to do that 3 times a week. I would not choose to do it 3 times a week. And then you don't even end up with a baby at the end.
But you can go at your own pace if you want. I mean, and for people who do yoga, you can just lay down in child's pose. But the thing I love about yoga the most, it's the only exercise that you get to lay down at the end, like officially. Like it's
I mean, I lay down all the time.
I know.
But I don't know if I would call it exercise.
But then you kind of stretch and you hold these poses, and then you get to lay down for like 10, 15 minutes while, you know, your yoga teacher is just telling you that, you know, you don't have to worry about it.
What if I showed up to your yoga class late and just came for that part?
Yeah.
Like I just show up for the laying down part.
You'd be dead to me. That was one of my pet peeves, when people show up late to a yoga class. It's just not cool. It's not cool at all. What are we? So who's tuning in? I'm getting a lot of your lovely people tuning in.
Hi, people.
Hi, Monica and Kathy.
Hey, tell us something.
Brian.
I know this is super personal, but since I know I'm talking with Methel, don't expect more from me. This is not a classy show. Well, I'm not classy.
They can't expect any less.
Let me know, since her page and her business and her passion, everything is about helping people prepare for death, helping people deal with, you know, losing someone and all that. How many of you, give us a thumbs up so we know, how many of you, this will be the first Thanksgiving without a loved one, and you're just kind of feeling like, oh,
yeah.
because I feel like holidays make it.
Yeah, Jana
really
just said sorry for your loss. I appreciate that. Diana says namaste. Namaste. Yeah, I mean, are you guys kind of stressed about the holidays because it's your first one without one of your loved ones? You know, last week we were talking about some alternative things that you can do to kind of lessen the weight of it, of kind of facing the holidays with a departed loved one. I mean, for me, you know, David Cassidy died yesterday during our dinner. Actually, we didn't find out till afterwards because we went online. And just his process of dying, the fact that he had multiple organ failure and the fact that he was in a coma, you know, it was very similar to my dad's situation. And then it kind of comes flooding back, you know, and there was a moment where I was sitting at your table and, you know, Christina's husband and then his brothers, and then he's got both of his parents sitting there, you know, and then her lovely kids. And I was just kind of like, oh, wow. You know, and then of course my first thought is, you know, savor this while you can, you know?
And we don't. I mean, we all just kind of I think we all are guilty of taking our loved ones for granted.
Yeah, but I think that's just, you know, and good for you, you know, for doing, you know, like people should just live their lives. You know, I just look at everything with death goggles or grief goggles. You know, it's just like we were at the mall earlier today and I would see a mom and a daughter shopping and like Forever 21. I'd just be like, you know, but it's always there, and they're just happily living their life and giggling and shopping, and, you know, and as it should be, because, you know, before anybody died in my family, I was just, you know, not thinking about it, you know, but anyway, my heart's going out to everybody who's, you know, trying to figure out how to kind of navigate the holidays. Yeah. And we were talking, if you have kids and they're missing grandpa or grandma or a loved one that's died recently. I remember one time I went live on your page, and a lot of people ask me how to talk to kids about death, and I don't have any kids. I'm happily childless by choice.
Especially after spending a few days at my house.
And I mean, seriously, you guys.
It's loud.
Her life is insane. Like, yeah. But anyway. So I asked for some advice, and I remember one gentleman had posted, and I loved what he posted. He said that when his grandpa had died, the first holiday without him, his mom said, let's draw a picture. Let's all draw pictures of the crazy things grandpa's doing in heaven. And they had really funny pictures, and it was warm and, you know, sad, but also warm and funny at the same time. And now they've got those, you know, little pictures that they all drew together and colored to remind them and to kind of pay tribute to their loved one who's not there.
I love that she didn't just say, let's draw pictures of, you know, whatever we think grandpa's doing in heaven. It was funny things.
Yeah, the crazy things.
Because humor, as you know, because you always approach things with humor. There's just something healing about being able to laugh. And so often I feel people almost feel guilty laughing about stories after somebody passes. It's like, well, we need to let time pass. And I don't know. I just think laughter helps.
Laughter makes a huge difference, and just humor, you know, I mean, even though my dad was like intubated and he couldn't really communicate, he could only kind of blink his eyes and maybe squeeze a finger here and there. I mean, I was making incredibly inappropriate jokes and he was enjoying them, and the nurses, however, were just like, really? Yeah. But that was just our relationship, you know. So I just wanted to know if any of you have any fun tips or helpful tips. Doesn't have to be fun, but any helpful tips on how you guys are dealing with the holidays with kids and loss. For those of you who are just tuning in, I want to tell you really quickly about what Good to Go is all about. It's an advanced planning company. It's slightly unconventional. I guide people through their advanced planning paperwork, but in a party atmosphere with booze and with a rock and roll death themed soundtrack, like Another One Bites the Dust or Stairway to Heaven or Knocking on Heaven's Door, and a sense of humor. And we do potluck dishes to share, and it's a really fun time. And so we go through these departure files for your departure. I help you plan for your departure. And it comes with a living will, which is an advanced healthcare directive, and that's a legal document in 43 states. And then it comes with a booklet, which is a booklet that took me about 1.5 years to write. And it basically has all of the daily logistics, you know, like your social media passwords, and do you have a storage space, and who's got spare keys to your home, and it kind of covers everything that a will doesn't cover. And so I'm
electricity, like all the stuff that if something happens to you, your loved ones are left with, oh my gosh, who do we call, and how do we cancel this, and how do we, like, there's just so much that needs to be done when someone passes. For me, filling out the paperwork just made me feel like I was doing my kids a favor, and my husband, and anybody, because I was like, you know what, God forbid something happened to me today.
Yeah,
they know how to handle all my stuff. You know,
you're good to go.
They know what I want as far as, you know, a goodbye, all of it.
Yeah, and also, you know, it's obviously planning your funeral, what kind of service you want. If you want music, do you want food served? What do you want your, you know, people to wear who are coming to your life celebration or funeral?
She's doing a tater tot bar at her funeral. Well, you're not doing it.
Yeah, somebody is.
Somebody's doing it.
But I put it down in my good to go paperwork.
It's actually written in there that she wants a tater tot. Dude.
Yeah. I mean, because tater tots are the perfect food. They're crunchy on the outside and warm and yummy on the inside.
We just literally ate some 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. We were at the mall and I was just like, tater tots. My radar went out, you know, almost like a bionic. And I was just like, there are tater tots. Let's get them.
And I wrote that I want a chocolate fountain at mine. And I like really fun music. And I want people to tell really funny, embarrassing stories about me because I'll be dead. So
yeah, I know.
You can tell all the embarrassing stories then.
Diana says, hi from Riggins, Idaho.
Oh,
Idaho.
No. Amy says my dad left us Friday. Oh, Amy.
Oh, Amy.
Amy Margaret. Oh, that's such tough timing with the holidays. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry too.
That makes me sad.
How are you getting through? Let us know, or you can private message me if you don't feel like sharing on the
Oh, and
thing.
Michelle says first Thanksgiving without my mom and my grandpa.
And your grandpa. I'm so
Daphne
sorry
says
to
not
hear
my
that.
first, but still hard. Yeah, I mean.
I know, and this isn't my first either. This is my second Thanksgiving without my dad, my fourth Thanksgiving without my granny, my fifth Thanksgiving without my mom, and it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
that much time has gone by. It just feels as fresh as
Would you
it ever
say,
did.
you know, the cliche time heals or time helps or whatever? Do you think that's true? Does it get, I know it still hurts. Does it get less, would you say, to people who are struggling right now?
Yeah, it gets less acute, you know, it literally went for me, and grief is so individual,
Yeah.
but for me, it felt like I literally was wearing like a heavy suit of sad. I just felt
That's a
weighed
great description.
down. And even when I would like walk to the grocery, you know, because you still have to go through your everyday. And here's the thing, the sun still comes up, you still go to sleep, you still wake up in the morning, and the pain is still there, but you still have to go to work and go to the store. And I just remember walking to Trader Joe's in like a daze, and it just felt like, there's an English expression, swimming in treacle. You know, it's almost like you're in molasses, and you're walking around, and you're thinking, you're seeing life go past you.
And you're like, what's wrong with those people?
I know,
and
I'm
they
like,
know what happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, even like the person who's just like, hey, how's it going today? And it was just like, I just wanted to be like, my dad just died. You know. But, and sometimes I did that, you know, like I remember I had almost a nervous breakdown at Walgreens one time, and I was getting a little teary, and the guy was just like, how are you today? And I was just like, I'm okay. My dad just died. So I'm pretty close to having a nervous breakdown / panic attack. And then he was just like, I am so sorry. And he put his hand out, and he said, you know, my dad passed, and it's really rough, but you're going to get through it. And that's the thing. If you feel strong enough to just be open, I've had so many random, beautiful experiences with strangers. I mean, I can remember going to the airport for the first time, having to fly back to Chicago to take care of my mom's condo. And it was the first time I'd been back to Chicago since she had died. And I knew she wasn't going to be there to pick me up. And, the woman who was checking in, obviously I was like crying and a mess. And, you know, she didn't upgrade me to first class. But I was like, I have a dead mom, and you can't even upgrade me to first class where I can cry in private. But, and she just said, you know, my mom passed, and you're going to stay strong, and I'm going to pray for you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to just crawl up in her lap and nap. But it's a heavy, heavy feeling, but it just feels less heavy. And I posted a Joe Biden video where he was talking about his son, losing his son, Bo, to cancer. And he said, there's gonna be a time where you're gonna wake up, and instead of tears, you'll have a smile.
Wow.
That's gonna make me cry. I'm not gonna cry. But it was so beautiful. And you'll just know when it gets easier as I'm crying. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get it together. Sandy says, sorry for your loss. We appreciate it. Man, see, everybody's going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard. Beth says, my sister and I were just reminiscing last week about how our dad would prep for weeks for Thanksgiving, and we wish we had his recipes.
Aww.
Well, that's another thing that's in the Good to Go booklet. I put down your favorite recipes, and you guys can, you know, put down whatever recipes you want to pass on, or whatever favorite recipes you had from your loved ones that they passed on to you. And you can pass those on to your loved ones. And then you don't have to be like, wait a minute, what was that secret ingredient to the Nutella pecan pie?
And one thing I love, Amy kept so many things. Like, I go to her apartment, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, that was my mom's. Oh my gosh, look at that. Like, we were just talking about waffles, and you said you have your mom's waffle. Like, she has so many things, and it just made me go, man, I don't even think about that stuff, but that's something I should think about, is like, hey mom, if you're not using that anymore, can I have it?
Yeah.
You know, my mom hopefully will still live a long life, but still, just to have, I mean, you have so many of her recipes, and almost every time she's cooked for me, she's like, I'm going to make you my mom's favorite this, or my mom's favorite this. I just love that you have so many things from your parents that are part of your everyday life. I love that.
I do. I mean, people might think I'm a little crazy, but the way I've dealt with my grief is to just maintain that relationship with my loved ones who are dead. You know, I talk to them, and, you know, I incorporate them in my daily life. And I really believe that your relationship with your departed loved ones, you still have that connection. You know, death does not sever the ties of love at all. But it just is a different way of being in their life or them being in your life. It's just a different, it's a relationship still, but it's just in a different way. I do feel that they're around us, and and so I talk to them, and I feel that they help me and they guide me, and so it's just, that's what's helped me get through it, basically. Heather says, my condolences to anyone who's lost a loved one. Her dad passed away 9 years ago, and the holidays haven't gotten any easier since. I know. Trying to deal with a parent that only has 5 weeks to live at Thanksgiving. Danielle, that's a tough one.
Oana says, very nice live. Amy, you have a brilliant business. Really helpful watching you from Romania.
Wow. Loved Romania. That's amazing. Meg lost her little cousin.
Oh, Darlene says, it's not my first without, but my husband is in hospice care, and I know this will be our last.
I'm wondering what you're doing to try to make it special, and to just try and, that's the thing too, that with the Good to Go booklet, I don't just have the logistics, but it's not just a history of your bills. It's also a history of your joy. Like, what were your favorite moments growing up? What are your favorite highlights and memories and thoughts of family? What are your thoughts on love and forgiveness? And my favorite question that I put in the booklet was, words of comfort that I would give you while you're grieving my loss, so
I love that.
So maybe ask your husband in hospice, say, how do you want us to celebrate you after you've gone? Do you want us to plant something in your honor? I had a client who was in the last stages of cancer, and she was amazing. And she said that she would like some milkweed planted because all the butterflies come to the milkweed. And that would be a beautiful thing for her daughter to know that her mom is with her when she plants that milkweed and she sees the butterflies. And so it's not just a way of, paying tribute to your loved one, but it's how to kind of keep remembering them and to keep them as a constant in your life, which I feel is so important because they're constantly in your memories. I mean, that's the thing too, is when you're grieving, your brain just can't handle anything other than thinking about how to process that your DNA has left the planet, And so, what a beautiful thing to also know that, they had requested something and you're honoring their wishes. I mean, it's, when my dad came to a Good to Go party a year before he died, he was perfectly healthy. But I loved carrying out his wishes, after he passed, because I remembered the conversations that we had and the laughs that we had while we were filling out his Good to Go paperwork. And when you're grieving, it's just this, it's just a crazy, crazy time. But then when you've got like a rock solid, kind of list of things that and it's going to be easy to do and to carry through, it just makes it so much easier.
The other thing I would suggest for anyone, if you really feel like this might be the last Thanksgiving or the last few months or whatever with your loved one, is not last summer, but the summer before, I was back in Croatia where I'm from, and my grandmother she was still doing pretty well, but I just had a feeling this is it. Like, I'm not going to see her again. And the very last day in Croatia when I was visiting her, she always taught me how to sing when we were little. We would sing all these songs, and her favorite song was Amazing Grace. And so I handed my cell phone to my mom, and I said, I want a video of my grandma and I singing, because we spent so much of my childhood singing together, and just goofing around, not like professionals. And my mom grabbed the cell phone, and I have this video of my grandmother and I singing Amazing Grace in Croatian. And I can't tell you how many times I've watched that, and it makes me bawl every time.
I know.
It's actually next week.
Makes me bawl.
Next Wednesday is going to be a year since she passed. But I watch it all the time. So make those videos, like if you loved dancing with your husband, even if, he can't fully dance, just like do, have video of that, or if he said something, if he had a favorite poem or a favorite joke that he would, tell at parties, and you're like, oh my gosh, honey, I can't believe you're telling that joke again. Have him tell the joke and videotape it. I think it's so cool that we basically have a video camera everywhere with us. Because there's just something so special, just seeing her, and you've seen the video, just seeing her facial expressions and the way she's holding my hand, and then, you know,
Don't make me cry again.
It's different to have it in my memory than to like literally see her fingers in the video and the way she, you know, and she, at one point she kisses the back of my hand.
I know.
And I don't know if I would remember that tiny little detail if I didn't have the video. So videotape all, you know, I mean, I love videotaping my kids and everything all the time just for fun. But especially if you know you're losing a loved one, get some of those things on video. It's going to bring you comfort.
And then ask them, you know, okay, so this might be our last Thanksgiving. How am I supposed to celebrate Thanksgiving without you? What do you imagine, you know? And maybe just having that, you know, simple question asked, your loved one might say, hey, just go to Hawaii, or screw it. You don't have to celebrate Thanksgiving, you know, just take a year off or whatever, you know, and then that'll just give you permission, you know? And that's the thing. I mean, I was talking just the other day, and a friend of mine said, well, what are you going to do with Good to Go if you died, you know, like tomorrow? And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is my company, and I haven't even thought of that. I filled out all of my Good to Go paperwork about my bills and my bank accounts and social media and passwords and all of that, but I haven't even thought of what's going to happen to Good to Go after, if something should happen to me. And so I called up my friend, and we had a very honest conversation, and I said, look, you know, you can take it and do what you want with it, or, you know, whatever. And I just kind of spelled it all out. But then I said, or if you don't want to, you know, take it over, that's okay too. You know, it's just that conversation would relieve the burden from her and all of my friends who were like, oh my gosh, you know, because I had one friend that was just like, I don't know, I guess we'd have like some kind of 5K in your honor, and then like, you know, put the proceeds to charity. And I said, no, I don't want a 5K in my honor. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And it's just that little sentence, you know, can relieve so much pressure from your loved ones. So
somebody just wrote, I saw, did it go away? Kelly wrote, I gave my son permission to laugh.
Oh.
And I love that, because I think sometimes people feel like they have to react one particular way. Right. And if you don't laugh, if you don't react that way, you're being disrespectful.
Right.
And so I love that she was like, you're allowed to laugh.
Yes.
You're allowed to enjoy life.
Yes.
Even though we lost somebody.
Yes, absolutely. And also, if you guys know anybody who's grieving, if it's your neighbor or a friend, and they're, you know, I jokingly refer to it as an orphan for Christmas or Thanksgiving, you know, invite them over to spend Christmas or Thanksgiving with you. And, you know, and they might say yes. And then on the day say, you know what, I don't feel up to it. And that's okay too, you know, so.
But give them the option.
Yeah, give them the option.
Don't assume you know what they need or want.
Yeah, and don't assume that, you know, if you invite someone who's grieving to one of your holiday meals, that they're just going to sit in the corner and cry. You know, it's like nobody asked me over for Thanksgiving last year. You know what I mean? And
not my fault. And I didn't know her.
I mean, I had a couple friends here and there, but they lived out of town, so it was not realistic. But I mean, you know, I just felt, you feel so alone and isolated anyway when you lose someone, but then to be alone at the holidays as well, you know, and you know, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to have Thanksgiving at your place because you're surrounded by family or whatever. And I thought, oh, what if I get weepy? But then I just thought, well, if I get weepy, I'll just get weepy, you know, and I'll just excuse myself from the table. Yeah. And then I'll eat my feelings with Nutella pecan pie and it'll be fine. And it was fine, you know. But one thing, and I'm going to share this, might embarrass you, but I hope not. But anyway, we were texting back and forth, and literally Christina just said one sentence in a text, and she just said, I know the holidays are rough for you. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help make it less rough. And I just thought, just that acknowledgement, and I'm gonna cry again, damn it, just that acknowledgement means everything. Talk. You talk now.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, if you know anyone who is, here's the bottom line. Let's just make sure that anybody that we know of doesn't feel isolated and alone. And I think sometimes people who aren't grieving or maybe haven't experienced a lot of loss or whatever sometimes feel awkward around people who have lost someone. It's like, I don't know what to say, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they'd want to come, so I'm not even going to invite. And I say it's better to invite. It's better if you don't know what to say, instead of ignoring them, to look at them and say, I don't know what to say.
Yes.
But I just need you to know that I'm here.
Yes.
If you need me, I'm here. Just like the minute you lose someone, you feel a little more alone. So I feel like it's all of our jobs, right, as good human beings, to feel, help people feel less alone. And it's so simple. And you don't have to have the perfect words. I don't have, when Amy, you know, something reminds her of her mom or dad, and, you know, my parents are still alive. So yes, I've lost a lot of people in my life, but she's lost like the closest people in her life. And I don't always know what to say, but just saying, I don't know what to say, Amy.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
Yeah. And that's all that.
She's not looking, and I don't think anybody that's grieving, they're not looking for you to fix it. They're not looking for magic. They just want to know they're not alone.
And I think, you know, friends do want to make you feel better. And they know that if, you know, someone's died, there's really nothing they can do or say to make you feel better. Well, I mean, unless they bake a pie, but, you know, that kind of thing. And so, and, you know, here's another idea too. Maybe just take a plate of leftovers to your friend's house who's grieving. And then they don't even have to like get off the couch. They don't even have to bathe. They don't have to put eye makeup on. They don't even have to change clothes out of their sweatpants. You know, you can just
Yes. Oh, this is an
give it
important
to
point.
them.
Because I know you've experienced this with friends too. Don't think I'm going to wait till the person who is grieving tells me what they need. Because when you're in the middle of grief, you don't want any extra work. So you don't want, let me text my friend and tell her, hey, could you pick up lunch for me? No, just do it. And if you drop off lunch, don't expect to go in and hang out with them. Maybe just make it as easy, drop off lunch. And if they don't want lunch, they can toss it. They can give it to somebody else. Who cares? But just don't wait for them to give you directions. Just think common sense. If I was grieving right now, if I was, you know, depressed or whatever, I'd need to eat. Great. Let's make sure she has food. I'd probably get thirstier. Great. Let's drop off a bunch of bottled waters. You know, maybe I need some distraction. Hey, why don't we get like 5 different movies and drop them off in a bag with, you know, some cake, whatever. Just like go out of your way.
I love that. You know, it's just, gosh, it's such a tough thing, especially at the holidays. Oh, and you're just being bombarded with like family and togetherness and all of that stuff. And it's just like, oh, it's so intense.
Maybe even just offer, hey, if you're buying, you know, I know you're grieving. If you're buying gifts for whoever, or you've already done it, do you want me to wrap all of them up for you? That's one less thing you have to do. I think some people want to do stuff like that because it's a distraction. Some people might be like, I don't want to deal with one thing. Let me do it for you. Just those tiny little things. It's so easy to do that.
I did a video and I posted it on the Good to Go Facebook page. I would love for you guys to like the Facebook page and stick with me. And I did a video, just like 5 easy things you can do for people who are grieving so that they don't have to ask. You
Take
can
their
just go
trash
ahead and
cans
do it.
out. Was that one of them?
Yeah, it was one of them. Yeah, you know, and it's just
pick up their mail out of their mailbox and hang it on their door so that when they're in pajamas and they're like, I don't even want to see a neighbor. They don't have to walk over to their mailbox.
Yeah, it's true, you know. So, you know, check that out because you just got to be there for your friends. Just don't ignore them because you feel uncomfortable and you feel that there's nothing that you're going to say that's going to comfort them or ease their pain. There's nothing that anybody can do to ease my pain. As you know, it takes time and therapy and love, just love, you know. And I said after my dad passed away, and that's basically the last of my immediate family, I just said love is the only thing that's going to help me get through this, you know. And so I had to focus on, you know, the love of my friends and you know, just things that I loved. You know, I had such a beautiful email from a woman who said, you know, she just lost her best friend recently, and how does she deal with that? You know, how does she come to terms with that? And I said, well, don't forget to focus on things that bring you joy. You know, just because there's a death doesn't mean that you can't experience joy. And it's important to remember that you can experience joy, and that's okay. And just for me, being out in nature helps me, you know, so much. And so I just made a point to do those things. We're going to wrap up soon because we're going on a little long, but I just wanted to see a few people. Lisa lost her son in February. His first birthday was October 7th. Lisa, I'm so sorry.
So sorry. That's heartbreaking.
And that's the thing too. Grief is so different. Like I've lost my mom, my dad, and my granny. I've never lost a child. And I think that's probably the hardest thing to have to go through. And man, our hearts are going out to you and hope you've got a support system surrounding you. Haley says we're making so many of Grandma's recipes this Thanksgiving, which I think is unbelievable. That's so great. Thanks everybody for posting your condolences and just sending your love. I really appreciate it. switching gears though, really quickly, I just want to know how many of you have your advanced planning sorted out? I want to know if you've got, I think everyone should have a will. I think everyone should have a living will. And then the good to go paperwork is everything that a will and a living will does not cover. It's all the logistics. So I'm wondering, you know, for people who don't have their official advanced planning done before they go on a vacation, they type, you know, frantically notes for whoever's house sitting or whoever's, you know, getting their mail or things like that. I mean, do you have at least some kind of instructions? You know, who knows? So I'm just wondering.
And as a mom, I'm going to tell you, you're doing your family a huge favor. We all hope that we will live till our 90s and all that. But unfortunately, I mean, I'm sure everybody watching knows somebody who just went way before their time. It's just way too young. And you're all doing your loved ones a favor by just having that filled out. I'm going to totally advertise you here, Amy.
But you can't,
because I love it. But just go to Amy's website and order it and fill out. Seriously. And can I tell you something? It's actually kind of fun. It sounds morbid, but it's actually kind of fun. You fill it out. She walks you through it. And she gives you a pencil because you might change your mind. You might decide you don't want a tater tot bar at your funeral.
But you totally should.
But fill it all out. Because here's the thing. If I
pop your clogs,
die, sooner than I'd like to, I want to make sure that my children and my husband and my parents and my friends and whoever can just focus on the grief and, you know, the emotional part of it and not have to go, hold on, what do we do with Christina's public page? And hold on, what do we do with this? And where did she keep this? And oh my gosh, I don't know, you know, her password. We're gonna make sure we shut that account down. And
like, what do we do with that really gorgeous black dress that we probably need to give to Amy?
What? So just, you're making it so much simpler for everybody else. And again, as moms, we're the ones that plan everything. We're the ones that are writing a long grocery list. And this is what I need to buy for Thanksgiving. And this is when every kid has his things planned. But we don't take 5 minutes to go, wait, we're trying to make everybody else's life easier. But the time they'll really need us to make it easier is when we go, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's in 50 years. So this is such an easy way. I love the way you just put it all in one. And I know I'm totally sound like a commercial. I'm only saying it because I'm passionate about it. Because I really, when I filled mine out, I just felt a sense of like, whew, that's done.
And you kind of don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it just felt good. I literally felt like I was doing my loved ones a favor.
Good.
I felt like I gave them a gift by filling it out. Anyway, and I'm not going to tell you where I keep mine in my house.
But if you go to my website, which is goodtogopeace.org, the departure files are on sale there. But more so, I would love it for all of you who are grieving, and I see so many of you, every Wednesday live on the Good to Go Facebook page. I go live every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. East Coast time, 12 a.m. European time, Greenwich Mean Time. And we just talk about griefy stuff. Sorry, I'm interrupting again.
Feel free. Because I love this idea that you have, because I think you're awesome. Here's what I love about the live show. So this is every Wednesday at the same time she does it. And the reason is because there are a lot of people, when they lose someone, they don't want to get in their car and drive to a grief support group, but they need support.
Right.
And so Amy's like, I'm going to take advantage of this Facebook Live thing so that somebody who's grieving but still needs support and needs to know, like, oh my gosh, what I'm feeling is normal because that other person commented and they feel the same way. All that stuff we need, like just to know that we're not the only ones thinking all the things we're thinking and feeling. She created this group so that you can be laying in bed in the same clothes you've worn for 3 weeks because you're grieving and just be part of it.
Kleenex.
Yes, and just part and go, oh my gosh, here is my private support group, and I didn't even have to roll out of bed. So, yes, Wednesdays.
And also, I learned from you guys. I would love, your tips on how you guys got through grief. I found nature to be really healing. I would love to know what helped you guys get through. And it's just so maybe you don't think that you're going crazy. I felt grief really it made me feel crazy. Like that was the main reason why I went to grief therapy, is because I just wanted to check in and be like, is this bananas? Like, all I'm thinking about is my dead loved one. Just like I'd order a pizza and I'd be like, yes, I'd like a large pepperoni. My dad's dead. And then I'd like extra cheese and my dad's dead. And you know what I mean? It just kind of is like, it takes up all your brain space, and I just, it's just really good if you guys comment and share your stories. You're going to help somebody else, and that's what I love about social media, is it's this community. But really quickly, we'll just say a couple highs and see what's going on, and then we're going to leave you, because
we've been up for a while.
I know,
went by fast.
You guys have to like get ready for Thanksgiving, I'm sure. But you just, Kristen says you never get over it. You just learn to live with it. I know. We went to Build-A-Bear. Oh, I love this. Kelly Lynn says we went to Build-A-Bear and had a pic of my son, his dad sewn inside the bear, and his dad sewn inside the bear, immortalized in the bear so he can hug it. I love that idea. That is fantastic. Sylvia, you lost your mom 2 months tomorrow. I'm so sorry. It's just such a tough time. Sarah says, I have my dad's mom's recipes book, and some are handwritten, and then she's passing those down as traditions to her son, which is fantastic. And Kimberly, I'm so sorry for your loss, but we're gonna get through the holidays together. That's pretty much all we're going to be talking about in the next few Wednesdays, is how to get through the holidays and what you guys are doing and what's going on. And I like to have a sense of humor. I also love rock and roll, so I post a lot of music stuff on my page and my Instagram too. But come and join me over on Good to Go Peace. It's at Good to Go Peace. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and I'd love to kind of keep this up, because already some of your comments are just so moving and beautiful, and I just appreciate you guys joining in. Hi Shannon, how are you? I love Shannon. I was telling you about Shannon.
Yeah, hi Shannon.
And then Jane and Sarah. Hi Izzy, how are you? Izzy is a Christmas freak. She's a friend of mine and one of my dear friends from middle school. It's her daughter, and they are Christmas freaks, and they just hustle and make it all happen. And to all of you moms and dads out there who are making the holidays happen, I don't know how you do it. You guys have the toughest job in the world. Carrie Ireland says, I cry easy too. Honestly, because I've been grieving, like there's no one in the tri-state area that hasn't seen me weep. It's true. And I don't care. I mean, if you can't cry about your dead family, then, what can you cry about? Although, I would say, when I'm in the grocery store and I'm just like, yes, Jif peanut butter's on sale. And that was Mom's favorite peanut butter. But, grief is weird, and it just hits you when it hits you. So you just got to ride it. Hi, Michelle from Melbourne, Australia. And what are the 5 wishes that you refer to on your page? Oh, okay. So really quickly, the 5 wishes, it's just an advanced healthcare directive. You can go to agingwithdignity.org and you can get all the information about the 5 wishes, but I offer the 5 wishes in the departure file. If you go to my website, it explains what's in the departure file. You can email me at amygoodtogo@gmail.com, and you can ask me any questions, or just, post questions here. And then after we're done, I'll take some time and I'll answer any questions that you have. So in this thread, you're more than welcome to lay them out, and I'll answer as many as I can. And that's it. Yeah. Christina, thank you so much for joining me. It's been so fun.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And thanks for being such a good friend. And thanks for making a lovely Nutella pecan pie. You can keep doing that. All right, you guys have a great and safe holiday.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Light a candle for your loved ones. They're going to be with you in spirit. I know it. So sending lots of love out to you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.